All right, this is Skipper Joe, skipper of the sailing vessel Easy Wind, rolling down the Missouri River today. There is my first mate, Lucy Bilgewater Bells, the notorious dog pirate, and we're up here at Holter Lake, Upper Holter Lake, and it is a beautiful day. We're gonna set up the boat, try and get launched, and we're gonna sail through, I don't know if you can see that with this light, the Gates of the Mountains, which is a very, very famous stretch of the Missouri River, named by Lewis and Clark. Anyhow, I keep saying I'm gonna document this stuff, and then I go do a bunch of stuff and I don't even take pictures. So here we are. This is the start of the trip, and I'm going to try and make a video out of this. I doubt many people in history have actually sailed this route, and I seriously doubt an amputee has ever sailed this route. So I'm looking to be one of the first. So here we go. All right, finally got launched. Spent all day getting ready. Lucy's happy to be out of the sun. And we are loaded down with 4 days worth of provisions, 5 or 6 if we make them last. We're on Upper Holter Lake. We're going to be sailing into that, the Gates of the Mountains. And it's really windy out. That always happens right after you launch. So we're on bare poles right now, and we're actually kind of moving. I'm going to raise the main with a second reef here soon as I smoke a cigarette and start feeling a little more comfortable. Well, I know many of you might find this hard to believe, but here in Montana, the wind changes directions a lot. So we spent a week and a half down at Lower Holter Lake trying to sail up here, and we couldn't even get past the main campground down at the dam. This is actually a reservoir. So I don't know. I only got one hand, so, and I don't think I'm a videographer. Let me see if I can zoom in. So anyway, I don't know. We don't have an anemometer here on Easy Wind, because this is a simple boat. And a simple boat and a simple man on a simple boat's got simple ways. But I can say for sure that whatever's ripping out of that canyon right now, we definitely cannot sail against. I put up the sail with 2 reefs in it, the mainsail, and was overpowered and fearing a knockdown. So I pretty much made, I don't know, I pretty much cruised over here and doused the sail and set the anchor. And that's it. We are waiting on the wind, but we are launched, and it is still pretty beautiful out here. Definitely not going to go into that Definitely not going into that fearsome canyon with this boat. We cannot sail against this wind, and the wind is coming right out of there. Belly of the beast. Lucy is taking full advantage of the situation, and I'm going to do the same because I have spent all day breaking down camp and setting up this boat, probably from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4:30, I think, is when we finally got launched. I don't know what time it is now, but it's been about 100 degrees out all day. Seriously, 100 degrees out. It's the first heat wave of Montana summer. So anyway, night 1, Gates of the Mountain expedition. Good morning. Well, we had a nice night at anchor. It was nice and cool out. Don't have much wind. We got full sails out. As you can see, they're just flapping around, which still might be a little risky considering the area we're going into, which is that Gates of the Mountains. All right, day 2. Well, still pretty light winds out here. We are finally getting away from the boat launch. We are heading into the Gates of the Mountains. Wind is supposed to stay light until about noon. And sometime before noon, it's supposed to start picking up to about 15 knots. And we have gusts to 25 knots this afternoon. So we're gonna have to pay attention to the time and make sure we reef or find a nice spot to tie up and wait it out. If I could make it to I think it's called the Holter campground. There's a campground up here. It's really nice, just a one boat in kind of thing. And if I could make it there, I'd be satisfied. I'm definitely not in a big hurry to get through this trip. Matter of fact, I'd like to make it last. So, here we are. Wind's picking up just a tiny bit. We got full sails out. We might be going 1 knot and entering the gates of the mountains. Yep. Nice. All right, got easy wind tied up here at the Holter campground. This is a boat-in only campground in the Helena National Forest. Got a fire going on in the gates of the mountains wilderness over there. Starting to bring some thick smoke in. Like they recently had a fire over here. Glad we weren't in this area when that was going on. Just had a beautiful downwind sail down this river here. I don't know if you call it, it's part of Holter, I guess. It's a reservoir. It's 50 foot deep on average. It's nice volcanic mountain range. I think this is called the Alden Mountains, even though the sign says Big Belts when you're driving up I-15. And yeah, wind's picking up as forecasted. We may or may not continue on. Oh my goodness, there's my pirate dog. She refuses to gain any weight, so I don't think she's gonna make the soup pot on this trip. And yeah, fire. We got one in the gates of the mountains wilderness and one kind of down towards the middle of this stretch. So anyway, we're gonna get some lunch. And we got for lunch cigarettes, of course. Can't live without those. And what do we got? Split pea and ham, captain's wafers, because I'm the captain. Coconut water. And eat it. Sounds delicious. What are you having, Lucy? Lucy's having kibble. All right. And we are back in action. Nice little break at the Holter camp. The wind directly behind us, I have observed it changing directions and gusting. It's kind of been all over the place, so we are rolling with 2 reefs, just in the mainsail, no jib, and that's fine because I'm not in any hurry, and we're having a great time out here. So, more gates of the mountain action. And going on at a pretty good clip. Looks like I got a bunch of seaweed in my motor. Lucy is hot. So am I. We're both hot because it's about 100 degrees out here. And it is actually nicer being out here in the wind. See, there's a big gust right there. Much nicer being out here on the river than it is being over there because the flies are incredibly obnoxious. So, sorry Lucy, I'm hot too. It's just the way it is today. Well, we are headed back to Holter Camp on bare poles. Wind has changed dramatically from what we experienced a minute ago. We are hauling ass on bare poles. The thing is, it keeps doing these 180-degree shifts. I was almost to that dock over there not long ago, and it did one of these big gusts, but in the other direction. I'd say they're 35, 40 knots. just out of nowhere, and then it'll disappear, and then it'll change direction. It's pretty wild sailing here in Montana. Let's see if we can keep going on bare poles. I do have an engine in case I get in trouble. I guess the goal of this trip is to try and do the whole thing by sail. Let's see if we can. I got a funny feeling I'm going to run aground at some point around here. Probably need to use the engine to get out of it. But anyway, back to Holter Camp. It's nice. I think a day of camping and swimming is going to be far better than weeks ago, 2 people lost their lives and 3 boats capsized due to the gusty winds here. And they weren't sailboats. And they probably weighed a lot more than this boat too. So I think I'm gonna err on the side of caution, head back to camp, get service there so I can keep an eye on the forecast and let this pass. See, right about here, it's gonna change. Watch this. Watch this. See if you can get it. See if I can get it caught on camera. Watch this. I'm gonna do a full 180 right here. Full 180. We just had that. Oh, maybe not. It never will when you're trying to get it on camera. But I've spun around a few times in here. Just can't get any luck. You get going one way and then the wind changes directions and does this going the other way. So that's Montana for you. Shoot, now we're getting pretty close to the lee shore. We might be turning on the engine. In fact, we are. All right, here we go. Yep. We didn't get it on camera because I had to stop and turn on the motor, but the wind is going about the gusts about the same as they were. Exactly opposite of what we were filming just a minute ago. And looks like the motor just ran out of gas, so we need to top that off definitely before we blow into the lee shore here. All right. Yep, and we got the motor going again, and looks like there's a gust over there, but as you can see, dead calm right here. That's sailing in Montana. That's why we have a 2-reef rule. Don't we, Lucy? 2-reef rule says you only roll with the second reef in unless you know for sure you're on a big lake and conditions are going to be stable. This is a little more typical here. All right. Big change, big change. Still doing those 180 shifts, but these gusts, you get down the river a little ways, downwind, everything's going good, and then boom, just hits you right on the nose. And there's no, this boat doesn't sail upwind very well anyway, but I don't think any boat would be able to sail in this narrow river against that kind of wind, or not many boats, I should say. Not many boats of this variety. So, anyhow, looks like we're camping at Holter Camp tonight. Well, for as hot as it is out there, at least we got a breeze. I wish I could sleep like her. At least we got a breeze. Well, night 2 up here at Holter Camp, Holter Lake expedition. Not much to really report except for the wind continued and got even more severe than what we filmed last time. It stayed windy all day. I'd say 35, 40 knots, far more than the 25 that were predicted. It was also about 100 degrees outside, so it was like standing in front of a hairdryer. Made like a shade tent in front of over the boom there, and she sat in the cockpit the whole time. Got out, jumped in the lake a couple times, but it was a hot, long afternoon. There was no chance we were going to be sailing up the river in those conditions. So, and true to its form, the weather has completely changed here in Montana. Just smooth as glass out there. So, I'm gonna get up, do an early start tomorrow, try and make some distance because I ate a lot of food today. There was nothing else to do but sit inside my boat and eat food. But truth be told, this is probably the most restful day I've had since I left North Carolina a month and a half ago. So, in spite of the heat, I'll take it. So that's it for now. We'll see you tomorrow. So, if this is you on a lake in Montana, or anywhere for that matter, you need to know that you are an asshole. Fuck you. Learn the fucking rules and show people a little bit of fucking respect. Because you are a fucking prick. Why are you a prick? Well, let's stop and see what happens when you do this. Look what happens. Look. This guy owns a boat too. Does anyone like getting their boat smashed around? I don't like it. Look at that. Look at it. Never shows up on camera quite like it is in real life, but people need to figure it out. All right, good morning. Day 3 here, and we have only made it to Holter Campground. We got into some serious headwinds yesterday, and actually barely made it back here because the wind was blowing upstream down there and it was blowing downstream over here, and we bounced around in circles quite a bit until finally we gave up and turned the motor on and drove back to this camp. But it is absolutely beautiful morning. Lake's looking pretty glassy. Last forecast I got said the winds were supposed to pick up, and they were pretty outrageous yesterday. We got a lot of new smoke coming down the canyon, and we're gonna try and make some time today because I sat in my cabin all day yesterday hiding from the sun and eating snacks, and it is day 3 after all, so I'd provisioned for 4, maybe 5 days. So we're gonna try and get a bunch of sailing done this morning before that wind comes. I imagine we're probably gonna get around another bend and find a similar headwind to yesterday. Gonna be another hot one. I don't think quite as hot as yesterday. I think the heat wave is on its way out, but we're just gonna roll down this river with, I think, probably 2 reefs and a head sail, and see how we're doing with that. If the wind gets crazy, we'll douse the head sail and see. We can't really sail upwind with just the main, but hopefully it'll stay behind us for the morning. That seems to be how it's been going. You got a light wind coming down the river in the morning and a heavy strong wind coming up the river later in the afternoon. So we'll give it a shot. Are you ready, Lucy? Lucy's ready. She got her fill of laying around and drinking bilge water all day yesterday, so I think she'll be all right. Boat's ready. Boat's doing good. We survived all the rednecks and the wake boats kicking up a storm and bashing us around. Some of our dock lines are chafing, but other than that, Easy Wind is in good shape. I got plenty of gas, plenty of water, and at least 2 days worth of food left. 3 if I can make it stretch. So we'll get underway and go from there. All right, we are underway. Goodbye, Holter Camp. May see you again if we get another strong headwind. We are rolling at this point. We got 2 reefs in the main. We got the jib up. That's according to the 2 reef rule. You know, we're gonna set out with 2 reefs and see what we're getting into. It's pretty light wind here. Again, I'm not really in a big hurry, and we are going with the current, so pretty much just need enough breeze to maintain steerage, which we definitely have now, even though the sails are flopping pretty good. But yeah, kind of a smoky-er morning. I guess we're getting into that part of the season around here in Montana. Beautiful glassy lake and the gates of the mountains. So we got some twists and turns along the way, and we're gonna get going, try and make some distance, see what we can get into. What do you think, Lucy? Are you super excited or what? I'm super excited. Yeah, this is one of the most beautiful parts of Montana, and I'm very lucky to know it, and I'm very lucky to be able to come out here and experience it. So stay tuned, and we will be back with more. All right, well, the 2 reef rule did not serve us very well this morning. We've been drifting around for about a half hour, and as you can see, we have not made it very far from Holter Camp. It was the strangest thing. It's the same thing I experienced yesterday. Right down there where that boat is, the wind is blowing downstream. Right here where we're at, you can't even really see my little telltale there, but I guarantee you the wind is blowing upstream. And it is basically the same trajectory. It is a very odd thing we have happening. So anyway, we're gonna take the risk and get going with full sails. I still got a feeling this is gonna pick up, but as it is right now, we are not going anywhere, even with full sails. So we're gonna try this again, see what happens. Well, you can get any way with full sails, and that tends to happen in this area. Even though this is a quote-unquote reservoir, we are still in the Missouri River, and there is still a little bit of current. I don't think most people swimming or powerboating would notice that, but we sure do. And the thing that happens in here when you don't have any steering whatsoever is the bow turns into the current, and more often than not you start drifting into the shore. So even though we're sitting in probably 30-40 feet of water right now, the shore comes up quick. This is a narrow little spot here, so we used a little bit of iron Genoa to bring us back out into the river, and we're just seeing if we can get any kind of steerage. We got just enough way to have a little steerage now, so we're heading back down into the canyon. Got some twists and turns around here. I am taking somewhat of a risk with full sails. I guess my contingency plan, if things get really crazy, is just to try and run this thing aground. We've got a swinging keel, and I don't have it locked down right now. I got plenty of slack in that hoisting rope system. There's a 4-to-1 system that raises that keel, and then we've got this nice custom rudder from I think it's Rudderworks. I'm gonna say it's Rudderworks out of Idaho. Anyway, that thing will kick up too. I mean, I still don't like doing it, especially when there's a strong wind and a current, because it puts a lot of side load on things. But it's a heck of a lot better than capsizing, which I have done in this boat. And the thing I found out about capsizing in this boat is, one, you're definitely not going to get it turned back upright, or at least my light body will not be able to pull it upright. The other thing I learned is that mast is 18, I think it's 18 and a half feet tall, and that thing will get stuck on the ground before you make it to shore. So I don't know, last time we capsized it was in Hungry Horse Reservoir, and I'm guessing the water was probably 55 degrees and there was no sun and a lot of wind. So I was faced with a decision of swimming to shore and getting hypothermia for sure. I had nothing but a lighter. Now I've got this emergency bag that should deploy if we capsize, and it's got warm clothes, food, water, and lighter and knife and all that basic survival stuff in it. there's a lot more people on this lake too than Hungry Horse. So anyway, yeah, it looks like we're picking up a little bit of speed. I'm gonna leave the Iron Jenny running for now, just in case we need to use it to take us back out into the center of the river. We got a bend coming up here, so it's time to be aware of shifting wind conditions, shifting current, all that stuff. This river sailing definitely takes a lot of concentration and paying attention. Lucy's enjoying her time in the cabin, licking her butt on my sleeping bag, which is really gross. Lucy, hey, if you're gonna do that out in the cockpit, please. And anyway, yeah, it looks like we're gaining a little speed, so I'm gonna sign off here and see if we can get some steerage going, see if we can get the sails trimmed up a little bit. One of the things I worry about most in this area is not so much the shifting conditions and the extreme conditions, but the other skippers out here. They absolutely have no respect for others, and so right now we're basically just sitting here adrift in our sailboat. Everybody is supposed to slow down and give us way, especially when overtaking, and I don't know, these guys are hauling ass coming up here, and I can pretty much guarantee you that that's not gonna happen. They just don't give a fuck. So we're gonna fire up the Iron Jenny here just to get a little speed going. But if you watch, they're actually slowing down. No, they're not. See, if I had an accidental jibe with this guy going by at whatever speed he's going, we're gonna die. See? And it's just absolutely rude. You're supposed to be passing me at no wake speed. And clearly these people just don't give a fuck. They're all waving. And then we're gonna get hit with this wake. It's really gonna just toss us around here. Whatever little bit of way we had is we lost. And throw us around. So we got the Iron Jenny going. That should get us through this. But, get prepared for some violent action. It's just absolutely rude that people drive that way around here. They've got they got 20 miles of river to play with, and they just can't even take the time to stop when they see a boat that's moored at a dock, or when there's a sailboat going through, which the first paragraph of the rules in Montana boating laws clearly states that sailboats have the right of way in almost all situations. That is seriously the first paragraph of the rule book. So I'd love to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't want my family of happy children getting smoked by an ignorant skipper. I don't think anyone else does either. That's what it is. All right, this is the Merriweather picnic area, not Man Gulch. Should get a better handle on my geography. Getting pretty smoky out. There goes the tour bus, or tour ferry, or tour boat, or whatever you want to call it. These guys are pretty cool. The Gates of the Mountains Marina, where I put in, they were very cooperative and helpful with getting me some overnight parking and radio communications too, which I greatly appreciate. So anyway, yeah, still beautiful. If you look down that way, you can see the wind is picking up quite considerably down that area of the river, so I've chosen to pull over in here, err on the side of caution, and I think I'm going to go back to Two Reefs because I'm not in a hurry, and things happen fast around here. So anyway, Easy Wind is looking pretty cool. I was able to sail into this dock, which is always fun. So there she is, fine sailing vessel. Here's Lucy has disappeared. She's probably out looking for another pile of poop to go roll in. So anyway, we'll get this reef put in, we'll get back underway. Oops. All right, got her all reefed down. Always not always the case that you get to do that at a nice floating dock such as we have here, so it's always better to do that, because then you can get it nice and tidy. So for my friends who don't know, reefing is taking that big mainsail and shortening it down incrementally to adjust for changing wind conditions, because it's a sailboat, and if you have too much sail up, you can get blown over pretty easily on that boat. Matter of fact, 3 boats capsized out here. I was saying this when it was all windy, but I'll say it again now that it's calm and people can hear me. There were actually 3 boats capsized and 2 people lost their lives right on this lake about 3 weeks ago. And means this is the only sailboat anyone's ever seen out here. Most people I've talked to, we can safely assume that those were much heavier boats people were on. So just goes to show how fast things can change and what can happen. So it's best to be prepared. So anyway, I'm gonna go find this dog. She ran off again. Hopefully she's not gone for very long. There she is. I see her running along the shore there. Misbehaving. It's the Malamute in her. The border collies will stay by your side all over, but she's got 8% Malamute, which makes her aloof. So anyway, yeah, easy wind, gates of the mountain expedition. Still haven't gotten too far, but that's all right. I'm gearing up for some heavy wind and some changing conditions this afternoon. And things get too crazy, we always got the motor if we run out of food or water or whatever. Should be enough to keep us safe. So, see you soon. All right, we are back underway. Just sailed off the dock, and we had a nice snack break, and all the tourists stopped by. None of them said hi to me because I'm naturally a standoffish kind of guy, but yeah, as expected, the wind has picked up. Got the 2 reefs in, pretty much just gonna roll with that until further notice, because I don't know if it picks up on camera, but there's actually a fairly strong current here. So if we can just maintain steerage, we're doing all right. We're doing just fine. Gates of the mountains, I think things open up after this. We're very near where I made it to last June, but I was coming upriver, and it took me 3.5 days to get upriver. This year, I tried for a week, and I couldn't get anywhere up this current, so it's a lot stronger than last year. Anyway, yeah, we're getting out into the main flow here, so we're gonna put her down and see what we got to work with. All right, back out here in the middle of the river. We just got the jib up. I bought these sails because they said they were heavier duty, but what they meant, well, they are heavier duty. What they meant was they're thicker material, and I don't really like them, especially that jib. It takes a pretty strong, by the time you get enough wind to actually start filling them up, you're overpowered. So it's a very small window where you've actually got good wind in these sails, but not too much wind in these sails. So the jib's still struggling to fill up. But yeah, the main, give her a little more here. We're sailing downwind. I'd say we're going 2 or 3 knots. Not bad, not bad. Looks like we got another wake maker coming up here. And yeah, I got a funny feeling this guy's gonna give us a hard time. Oh yeah, he is not slowing down. Yeah, you're supposed to pass other vessels at a speed where you could stop if need be. That guy has no way of stopping. If he was out of control, or if I was to lose control, he would smack right into me. And again, they're all waving like we're all friends. Well, guess what? You guys aren't my friends. Show a little respect, okay? If the wind suddenly changed directions and I jibed into your course, I wouldn't stand a chance, and neither would Lucy. So, also, we don't really appreciate your wake coming through. You're supposed to travel past me at no wake speed, jerk. that's not going to happen. So we'll stand here and brave the wake, which is going to kill all of our speed, and it's going to flop the boom around, which our boom's been flopping around so much here that the gate on the mast is actually starting to open itself up. I don't know. I know for a fact it's hard to find a replacement boom for these boats. But anyway, I'll stop complaining. It is absolutely beautiful out here. And yeah, I think that's what they call the gates of the mountains proper, but I don't know. I just kind of consider it this whole stretch of river. Things should start opening up a little more, become a little more mountainy and meadowy and a little less canyony like we've had thus far on the trip. So we'll call it good there, and see you soon. And once again, it feels like Mother Nature and possibly the weather report is playing tricks on us. We got no wind. Whatever we saw, that's our Merriweather camp over there. Obviously, we haven't made it very far with our second reefed main, but believe me, it was picking up. And it needs to pick up because it is hot. It is really hot. And it would be nice to have a little breeze, but I fear this is going to be a case of careful what you wish for, because we saw what happened yesterday when we got a little breeze. Just need a little bit to cool off and maintain steerage here, because we're basically just drifting with the current. And pretty soon, if this doesn't pick up, we're going to have to fire up the Iron Genoa. And if we have to, that's what we're going to do. It looks like we're drifting into shore here. So still in the doldrums. We got just the slightest bit of breeze behind us. This is about the third time we've circled around towards that rock. And true to its form, Montana is doing that weird thing where as soon as we get to that rock, the wind changes directions a good 180 degrees. So the river's starting to widen up to the point where we can start sailing upwind. There's a degree, it's about 75-degree area straight upwind that we can't sail, but we can start tacking back and forth and get upwind with both of the sails up. But you need a good bit of wind to get this boat to even try and go upwind. So what we're experiencing right now is just that little bit of wind behind us, and it keeps changing directions, so we're more or less just going in circles. And it's just enough to push us downwind, but not enough to even go on a beam reach or anything like that. So we're just sitting here. It's still beautiful, calm, hot. Oh my goodness, it's hot. But still got the second reef in, because I know where we're at. I know how quickly things can change and how radically things can change around here. So we're just gonna keep rolling like this and wait for something to change. It's getting close to noon, and they're calling for high winds this afternoon, so we shall see. Anyway, yeah, well, look. See, this is how you show a sailor respect. That's nice. It's a nice way of doing things, and I really appreciate that. Some people just go ripping by without regard for anyone but themselves. Probably not even for themselves. Anyway, getting close to that rock again. I got a funny feeling the wind's gonna change directions. We'll be heading back towards Merriweather. So I get asked a lot, why don't more people sail in Montana? There's a couple of reasons for it. First of all, you gotta have a boat that you can trailer and launch in the lakes around here. And this is about, well, there's a couple others, but there's not very many that have this lifting centerboard feature and this lightweight mixed with small size and a small cabin. I could have a larger boat. That really wouldn't be too difficult to find, but finding a truck to pull it adds a tremendous expense to the whole matter. Furthermore, when you launch, you know, most boats got a much deeper draft. This boat only has a 5-inch draft with the centerboard up. And so, long story short, this boat is easy to, oh, and getting the mast up too is another consideration. You start getting much bigger than this and you're going to need a crane or something. So all those factors combined make it very, very difficult to even find a vessel that can sail around here. Main reason you don't see a lot of people sailing around here, though, is not that. It's because it's a lot of work. This is day 3 of a trip that I easily could have made in one day with a kayak or a canoe even. And of course, people with power boats put in, you know, in a single afternoon they can put in and do this entire, I think it's 18 miles. I could be wrong. It might be a little more than that. Stretch of river. You know, these guys back here on the tour boats are going to do the whole thing on one of those big boats. So it's a ton of work, you know, but and then you're waiting on the weather too. You know, any one of those vessels I just mentioned, they can hold on, let me fix this jib real quick. Keeps getting a little backwinded. But you know, I've been trying to make this trip for close to 2 weeks, and if you want to do this kind of stuff, you got to have the time. I'm very fortunate to have the time to do this, and I'm willing to put in the work. It's a labor of love for me, setting up this boat and tweaking it and fine-tuning it. And moments like this where the conditions are just perfect, you know, and we're quietly coasting along the river, kind of feels like we're in charge of our own destiny, and that's what sailing's all about, that sense of freedom and that sense of accomplishment from having put so much into something. And it's really just me and Mother Nature right now, and you guys, because I'm filming. But you know, as soon as I put this phone down, I'll stop thinking about how I'm going to put this video together, and I'll start thinking about just how beautiful it is. And it's really meditative. You know, I could rip down this on a jet ski with I don't know, some hip hop blaring, or maybe be pulling some wakeboarder around and not caring about the other people on the water or anything. I think the fishermen get a similar experience out of this whole deal. But yeah, it's just a beautiful thing when things are working, and it's worth all the work. It's worth all the effort it took to get this boat set up and outfitted and perfected, and you know, everything that went into this. It's not just me drifting down the river. There's a lot that goes into it and stuff. But there's no better feeling than when the sails are full and it's beautiful out and you're just cruising and nice and quiet, no motor or nothing. So anyway, that jib keeps backwinding because I'm not spending enough time on the tiller, and we're also getting close to a lee shore here, so I'm going to put it down. But just wanted to answer that question in case anyone was curious. It's a lot of work, and yes, there are more practical ways of doing it. You know, it's kind of like, there we go, get some wind in that jib. Yeah, it's kind of like you know, people who ride their bikes across the country. I can get on an airplane and fly across the country in 5 hours, or I could ride a bike across. And I think one is aesthetically beautiful, and one is maybe kind of exciting, but you know, doesn't require a lot of effort. So anyway, I hope that answers that question. We are finally making some way, and I'm going to get back to sailing. See you next time. All right, absolutely beautiful. Finally got a nice breeze. Lucy is dying in here. We are hove to. I don't know exactly where we are, but I told Lucy we would heave to and get some water. So this is heave to means we've got the tiller lashed this away, we've got the main trimmed, and we've got the head sail backwinded. And if you look, we're actually not making much forward progress. The tiller and the jib are kind of canceling each other out, and if you look, there's a little bit of turbulence there, and that's the wind actually blowing us broadside. So that's a technique for basically parking in the middle of the water. So we're still blowing with the wind, but we're not we're not blowing as if we're underway. We're basically just drifting broadside to the wind right now. So it's still threatening to take us into the shore there. And I don't know how well this is going to work with, you know, here in Montana with the shifting winds, but I've always kind of been curious. So that turbulence, yeah, coming off the side of the boat is actually the boat hove to. So it's kind of rocking back and forth right now. The rudder and the head sail are canceling each other out. So we'll see how it works. Quick drink of water and then we'll get back underway, because this is just absolutely gorgeous. And this is what all that work was for, and this is all of that work paying off. By the way, that rock right there is a famous rock. It's called the Sleeping Giant. Real famous landmark. If you look at it, it looks like a giant face, if you can see that, with the eye, the nose, and the mouth. So that's the giant that sleeps in the Big Belt Mountains. These are actually the Alden Mountains, but yeah, real famous deal in Helena there. So I don't know how well our heave 2 is working. I think it's working pretty good, actually. It's just odd because the wind shifts so much that you know, we just spun a great big circle here, but looks like it's still working. So we'll see how we do with these wakes. A boat that's hove to, that little bit of turbulence coming off the side there is supposed to break up big waves in the ocean. This is actually how people stop to take a break during inclement weather. So we'll see how it goes here. Let's see if we break up this wake here with our it's called a slick, our heave 2 slick. Not very high hopes for that. This isn't a very heavy boat. I don't know. This is I haven't done this a whole lot in this boat, but appears to be working pretty well. So anyhow, all right, we're gonna get Lucy some water and then we're gonna get back underway. I just wanted to film this and take in a little break. This beautiful scenery here on Holter Lake. This is the day we've been waiting for a long time. So see you next time. Well, unsurprisingly, we have run aground. What's interesting about this is the same exact place. This is where we made it to last year. I don't know if you can see this. We're right under the Sleeping Giant, and there's all these weeds and stuff here. And for whatever reason, this little area right here has a very strong current and shifting winds. I know for sure last year we got stuck in here, and last year we only had a trolling motor, Minn Kota, I think it was like a 45-pound thrust or something. I don't know, but anyway, by the time we got all the way back here, our motor was dead. Holy cow. Actually, we're getting unstuck. Let me shoot. Hold on. That guy's wake just stuck us. I'm gonna stick us again because I do not want to go back into those weeds. We are going to drop the keel. Okay. All right. Ugh. I don't know if that's a good idea either. Hold on. Pause this video for a second. That's not a good idea. I think we're restuck here. Actually, you know what? Since we're unstuck, I'm gonna put this on hold and I'm gonna use the motor to get us out of here because these weeds are just deadly. And I'll explain what happened when I come back, but we're using the motor. All right, Lucy, come on. All right, I'm upside down, I'm right side up. All right, so this area back here, right underneath the Sleeping Giant, is the same area we got stuck in last year. And basically, there's a lot of little eddies and stuff back there. And right as the wind was picking up too, the wind has this thing where it changes directions a lot in Montana right before it picks up. So as you can see, it's pretty heavy wind right now. I got the sails put away since we ran aground there. That was the first thing I had to do, was get the sails put away. I had to get the keel pulled up and the rudder pulled up too. I guess we found something that all those people's wake is good for. Here comes another one. So anyway, yeah, the river speeds up quite a bit and gets really shallow in this area. So we got hit with not only crosswinds, but cross current. And there was just no, actually, you know, maybe it was the skipper's fault, but actually I'm quite proud of the skipper. I was just aiming for, I knew if I could just get around this corner, everything was going to be okay and we'd get back under control. But yeah, I'd get going one direction and then just get hit with a huge gust on the bow and then get blown around. There's, you know, we just didn't stand a chance. But anyway, there's a lot of little weedy areas where there's, for good reasons. So we're on bare poles now. I got the keel back down. Actually didn't end up using the engine to get out of there after we got unstuck. I've got this little paddle down here that I've always kept on the boat, and I've never really needed it for anything. And it's kind of funny because before I was leaving for this trip, I was like, do I really need that paddle? Like, can I even paddle with one hand? Well, it turns out I did, because the engine couldn't stand a chance in those weeds back there. So yeah, still getting some really strong gusts and some really strong crosswinds. So we're just gonna drift down like this. We've got the motor. If anything crazy happens, we should be able to deploy the iron Genoa and get out of here. But at this point, I don't know, that was pretty exciting. This is pretty exciting. As you can see, now the wind is changing direction again. I don't know if you can see that. I can definitely see that. And this current is really strong right here. And the current has been stronger in Hungry Horse this year than it was last year. So yeah, we are pretty much adrift right now. Looks like the wind wants to take us into that lee shore, so I'm gonna deploy the iron Genoa and just head downstream a little bit and try and find a sheltered place, probably drop the anchor and call it a night, but we'll see here. Well, we managed to drop the hook. I don't really like this spot, but I drove around quite a bit and didn't find anything better, so we may end up picking up and getting out of here. I don't know if I really trust this 15-pound Navy anchor. The only thing you can buy in the stores around here. It's like the Danforths are always sold out because everyone knows that's a good anchor, but it's really rocky here anyway, so we'll see. I'm sorry if this is the last transmission. We just had a real exciting time dealing with the grounding and the wind and everything. So just came down here to this part of the river, dropped the hook, and we're gonna take it easy and have a little dinner. Hopefully these devices start charging. I don't know why my portable battery is not charging, and I've been having a hard time getting anything to charge off of solar too. It doesn't help that we're moving around like this. The prevailing wind is keeping us pointed into the sun up there with the way I got that solar panel now. But Lucy's happy to be taking a break. That was a pretty stressful thing for you, wasn't it, my girl? I'm happy to be taking a break too. Yeah, this wind is just squirrely. It's off and on. It's not steady in any direction or speed through this area. So I think more than anything, I think it's a change of the weather system itself. It seems like it does that all the time in Montana right before something changes. So I don't know what's changing, but yeah, we've been blown in circles just sitting here on the anchor. So you know, try and get this charged up. Hopefully it does take a charge, because we're only about halfway down the river, and I'd sure like to document the rest of this. It's like Lucy is getting out of the sun. I wonder, I get really sweaty in there, but dogs don't sweat, so maybe it's more comfortable for her to be in the cabin. I imagine it's the same temperature as out here, but I don't know, who knows? Anyway, this is Skipper Joe, sailing vessel Easy Wind. I really hope we can continue making these throughout the rest of this journey. And just, if not, one last view of this beautiful, beautiful valley. Sleeping Giant. And, all right, see you later. All right. Day 3, Holter Lake expedition. We didn't make it much further past the scene of the grounding. The wind has been, overall, it's been pretty light, but we've been getting these big ripping gusts come through here occasionally. And I definitely don't want to mess with those, because those are the ones that catch you off guard. Blow you around and round you up and knock you over and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's been a good night. Lucy, you doing good? She's doing all right. She was a little stressed after the grounding, but anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, we figured out why the phone wasn't charging. Bad cord. The power block charged off that solar panel, but it didn't. I'm having another problem here with my boom. I'm starting to notice, because all these assholes don't care about other people or their property. They make such a huge wake that it's starting to open up my mast gate here. If you look at the diameter of that, I'm willing to bet that's how that happened, although that's how I bought the boat. But then I keep the mast down a little lower than that, because that thing's too big and it's starting to widen up. So from what I understand, these masts cost more to replace this mast than it does the whole boat. I just wish those assholes could show a little more respect. I don't understand why it's so hard. They own boats too. Nobody likes spending thousands of dollars on shit just because people can't slow down. But anyway, it is. There she be. And things have calmed down quite a bit. Where I grounded earlier was as far as I made it on my first trip. It took me 3 days to make it up there from the dam. So this last section, I still got a ways to go. I still probably got at least half the route to go. But last time I made that in half a day, because I had such a favorable wind. So we'll see if we can do it like that tomorrow. Yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, the grounding. I was saying that wasn't necessarily the skipper's fault, and it really wasn't. The skipper was kicking ass. For a one-armed guy, we didn't get stuck in the ground at first. We got stuck in the weeds, and I was literally having to stand on that keel, work this rudder up and down to get the weeds off of it, and control all 3 sheets with one hand. And we almost made it out of there. But right at the very end, we got a big gust that hit us broadside, and you get so much, you know, I don't know if you call it weather helm. You just get blown. There's no way around it when you get hit with that much wind in this boat. It's a really light boat. It's not going to go forward. It's just going to go sideways. Or that's also what happens when you get hit with a big heavy duty one on the bow. You can cut the sheets and stuff, and you know, take all the wind out of the sails, but you get hit with a big one on the bow, it just blows you right away. You're completely out of control at that point. So we got down here seagulls. We got seagulls in Montana. There's also a bunch of pelicans around earlier. There's also sleeping giant. And Sleeping Joe sleeping under the sleeping giant. I'm going to call that area the awakening giant. That's exactly where I had problems last time. Got the bed all made up. It's looking nice. And we got the phone charged up so we can document the rest of this adventure. I'm going to shut her down, try and conserve some battery, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Good morning, Holter Lake. What do you think, Lucy? Are you ready to have a good day of sailing? Are you ready? You look tired still. Yeah. I'm a little tired too. It's day 4. And we got a beautiful breeze forming up here.
about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm not a sunrise guy, no matter how hard I try or how hard I work. I don't like getting up early. We got a nice breeze forming. Got a little bit of signal here. Check the forecast. And hopefully we got smooth sailing. We can get down to the dam today.
Well, we've run into some more trouble. I'm not surprised in the least bit. The 15-pound Navy anchor is stuck. And it's stuck. We've been trying for, 45 minutes to get it to budge, and it hasn't. We turned on the motor, drove circles back and forth, yanked on it vertically, and for one thing, that's not a good anchor. I don't know why that's the anchor of choice for everyone who shops at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's and North 40 and all these other sporting goods stores, because my understanding is it is pretty much a complete piece of junk to begin with. And I think what happened was we were getting those huge gusts in all different directions last night, and that 15-pound weight has just worked itself into, under a rock or something. There's some pretty big boulders down there. So anyhow, that confirmed my suspicions. I don't like that anchor. I didn't like it when I bought it. And I've been going through a lot of anchors lately. Less so because I've been losing them, and more so because I keep the anchor in the back of the truck when I'm moving so it doesn't bounce around in the fiberglass of the boat. And I've been having a lot of good luck with fluke anchors around here. But the ones they sell are just cheap junk. So even though they hold well, often the flukes get bent on the rocks around here. But yeah, that 15-pound Navy anchor, I think that's just way too heavy, and just that shape, I think it is just wiggled itself into something, unsurprisingly, as a matter of fact, because everything I've read about those says they have no place on a boat. So we're going to cut the anchor, which sucks for a couple of reasons. One, I hate littering the environment like that. And two, even though that anchor was a piece of crap, the road it was attached to was really nice, and I'm going to miss that. Yeah, they sell this junk. It's hard to find good supplies in Montana, but this stuff looks the same, but it is absolutely inferior to real twisted nylon rope. So I got a chunk of dynamic climbing rope at home that I used to use for rock climbing that I think I'm gonna have to grab. But yeah, I have yanked and stuff, and honestly, I don't have the strength, and I don't think the hardware on this boat has the strength to pull that anchor out. So, oh, there they go. First wake maker of the day. Hooray, hooray, there they go. Okay, yeah, so that sucks. I really could care less about leaving that anchor, but it kind of sucks to have to leave that road in the bottom of the river. I wish I could attach a buoy to it and have like a permanent mooring, but I don't come back here enough to use that. So anyway, we're gonna bust out the old Leatherman and cut that road, that very nice, beautiful road. And this was something, I had 60 feet of that attached to, I think this is 100 feet of this junk they sell at Walmart and all the sporting goods stores and stuff, because nobody really anchors out at night around here. So the ground tackle selection is just crap in the stores. They drop these Navy anchors so they can go fishing for a half hour, and then they pick them up and leave. But yeah, we got yanked around and jerked around in those gusts, and she's gone. So, well, that's how it goes. So one of the things I really love about sailing is that it always offers a chance to learn something new. And I'm really proud of myself for figuring this out finally. I've always had a hard time getting the boat stable to raise the mainsail single-handed, keeping it pointed into the wind and stuff, and I'm always pulling it up and jibing off, rolling into outer space. But I figured out this morning that if I heave to, it also stabilizes the boat well enough to get the main up and get the lines tidied up and under control. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this video, because when you're hove to, you're still moving just slowly while the rudder and the head sail act against each other. But as you can see, there's our little bit of turbulence there, and as you can see, there's a lee shore. So I'm going to put this down and get underway. Just wanted to show that heave to, great way to get the mainsail up when you're single-handing a west white potter. Yeah, here we are, cruising along nicely. Call me a wuss, but I still got my second reef in. Seen some pretty big, well, not big, but some pretty substantial gusts come through here already this morning, even though overall it's fairly calm. Lucy's hot already. How you doing, my girl? Hey, you want to say hi to the camera? Do you want to say hi to the camera? Oh my goodness, she's a good girl. She's a pirate dog. How's your hangover doing? Lucy likes to sit around all day and drink bilge water and rum, and you know, that's probably why she hasn't gained any weight, because I always say I'm either saving her for the soup pot or the ransom money, whichever comes first. But she refuses to gain any weight, and nobody wants to collect a ransom on a pirate dog up here in Montana. I think that's how she found her way up here. Maybe when we get back to North Carolina. But anyway, yeah, we got the sails trimmed nicely. Second reef in. When I made it, I did this whole stretch. I camped in almost the same place. I actually camped down there where we got grounded yesterday. Last June, actually, the current is a lot stronger this year than it was back then. So I actually came up the river and camped there. But I don't claim to have a lot of experience sailing now, just a little over a year's worth, and more or less full time, at least involved with the boat in some way, if not underway. Then every day I've been messing with either this boat or Sandpiper down in North Carolina. Yeah, the wind is quite swirly here too. Get our jibs back-winded. See if we can get that thing full so I can finish this video. Anyhow, but I didn't put any stopper knots in my halyards, and what happened was somehow during that whole fiasco, I lost my jib halyard. So not only did I make it down through this way in a half a day. See this current, this is just current right here. We don't have enough speed to fight this current. So anyway, not only did I make it through here in half a day, I did so with only the full main, and I didn't even know how to reef the main back then. So yeah, I just was able to get out of here. I had one dicey little spot. There's a little spot on this route where it kind of makes a big S curve, and got a big headwind in there and ran aground. But other than that, yeah, I was able to get the boat all the way down through here and on the trailer before the end of the day, which is something I'd like to do today. I'm running low on snacks. I'm getting tired of eating canned food and crap. Be nice to get some real sustenance. So anyway, beautiful morning. I haven't been able to check the forecast. Last I did check said it was supposed to be nice and starting to get a little cooler out here, which I appreciate because it's been hot. And yeah, so far, I don't know why we are aiming for, this is downstream, but for whatever reason, the current is blowing heavily upstream. So we're, we got a little bit of wind in our sails. Oh, backwinding that jib. It's hard to control the helm and talk on the phone at the same time. But anyway, we are going backwards against this current. So I don't know. Hopefully we get a little more wind. or the current changes. I think it will up there. For some reason, this whole area here under Sleeping Giant, especially down there in the weed zone, you can see some of those weeds over there too. It's like the current and the wind and stuff just shifts around a whole lot around here. So we're gonna see, but looks like the current's pulling me around for a jibe here, whether I want to or not. So I'm gonna get off the phone and get control of this boat. All right, see you soon. All right, this is what good sailing looks like in Montana. We got gusts to probably 20 knots. Tails are flying good. Those green ones are never gonna fly because the sail's not cut properly. But anyway, I don't have much time to video. Hopefully this is recording, because it seems like every time I got good sailing, I got my hand full and don't get to capture this on video. So anyway, I'm gonna put this down because coming around this corner, the wind is sure to change. But yeah, this is why I always just roll with that second reef. We get these big gusts out of nowhere, and the changing trajectory and the changing winds and all the topography and everything. It's just a safer way to go. And I don't mind drifting slow because we're not in a hurry to get anywhere. But we would like to get somewhere today because we're running low on food. It's day 4, so putting her down, getting back to sailing. Just want to give you a glimpse of what beautiful sailing in Montana looks like. All right. Well, had some great sailing in this little area. For a good minute there, we had consistent winds too. And it was beautiful. That tree right there was about as far as I made it. I made several circles around here, and yeah, look at these gusts. Anyhow, the current is so strong in here that you can't tack against it. So I would get over to one side and jibe, and then over to another side and jibe, and I really wasn't making any headway. And then right about at this exact spot where we're at right now, I had just finished the jibe and just got everything trimmed and was on track, and just got hit with one of those unbelievably strong Montana gusts. I mean, you just can't even believe these. I can't really capture them on film unless one happens here. I'd say the wind is blowing a steady 20 knots right now, if I had to guess. But yeah, those gusts roll in. They're 35, 40 knots, and they hit you. So you can. The thing is, with this strong current, you can let the sheets go. In fact, it ripped the jib sheet out of my hand. Not only did it rip the jib sheet out of my hand, it ripped the figure 8 stopper knot through that Harkin jam cleat. So anyhow, yeah, so fortunately my downhaul worked. I doused the jib, and then we kind of finished jibing around quickly because the current basically just spun us around, you know, and then we were going downwind. I managed to yank the head sail down too, so crisis averted. But yeah, when those gusts come, there's no surviving in this boat. And I've often thought I love this boat, don't get me wrong, but I would like to have something that's a little more prepared for that kind of stuff and a little more set up. But this is what I got to work with all my camping gear and the trailer and stuff. My truck pulls it fine. It's a sweet truck. It's a Ram 1500, but I'm actually rolling overweight in that truck already. I weighed myself on the cat scale before I left here. I'm about 400 pounds over the GVRW on that truck. So anyway, yeah, so those are the kind of gusts that'll knock you down and capsize the boat, no doubt about it. I don't have the keel tied down either, because we are tacking back and forth between, you know, the sides of this canyon, and there's shallow water on either side. So if I hit something, I don't want to rip out my keel box over there. So anyway, we got the motor running. Yeah, I'd say right about in here. This is where we just got nailed with that gust. I don't know if you can see, there's a big one coming. I wouldn't be surprised if it overpowers the motor. But yeah, this current is running upriver for some reason. I mean, it should be running downriver towards the dam, towards the direction we're heading, but that is definitely not the case. So yeah, we can't sail upwind and against this current. And we were having beautiful sailing until that gust came down and just wiped us out. It really scares Lucy too when that happens. Poor girl. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, we got some gnarly headwinds here, as well as some gnarly current that's kind of shifting around, you know, due to the bends in the river and stuff. So, anyhow, fortunately, this is a sweet little motor. Ain't much, 2.3 horsepower, but it starts on the first pull every time, and I love it. It's been submerged. I've never had any problems with anything that says Honda. It's good. I remember one time at work we had we were up about I think I want to say about 1,700 feet up on a mountain outside of Jackson, Wyoming, and we had this Honda EU 2200 suitcase generator. It was on a steep slope. It was almost steep enough to where we should have been on ropes, or where we needed to be on ropes, but just barely enough where you could keep your footing. And we were up there working away and drilling, and it was loud and noisy and stuff. And one of us turned around. It might have been me, I don't know. Anyway, somebody turned around and bumped that generator, and it went flying down that mountain, 1,700 feet, I believe. And it was bouncing, and it was doing cartwheels, and it was flying 15, 20 feet up in the air and spinning around. All the plastic was flying off, and we watched that thing roll all the way down. And on that job, I was kind of a new guy, and I often volunteered to do a lot of hiking up and down. And that was a lot of hiking on that job. But anyway, long story short, I walked all the way down to the highway, grabbed that generator, put it on my shoulder, packed it all the way back up to the job site where we were working. And that thing started first pull. The carburetor was broke off, so it was louder than hell. But first pull, that thing started after, like, I wouldn't have survived that fall, but the Honda generator did too. So thank you, Honda, for making good, reliable equipment. I've heard people say bad things about your stuff, but I think you're awesome, and I disagree. So anyway, yeah, we're just gonna motor for a while. We've got a very strong headwind and very strong current against us here. So much for doing the whole thing by sail. I actually had to use the motor to get out of that area over there, but for whatever reason, this section is it's nice because it's open, but the current and the wind is much stronger than it was last year when I came through here. So I don't know. Am I crazy for trying to do this? I don't think so. I think it's a great experience. I have another boat in North Carolina that I aspire to sail across the Atlantic Ocean. In the long term, the Bahamas in the short term. So, you know, this is good practice here on a small boat in volatile and changing conditions. What better practice could a guy have? So, and I'm really proud of myself too. I don't think many sailboats come down this way, and definitely not a lot of amputees on sailboats are out here doing this stuff. So I'm grateful that I'm able to do this kind of stuff. Because I should be dead. I shouldn't even be talking to you guys right now. So I feel like I have a responsibility in this world to live a good life and try and enjoy it and try and make the most of it. Kind of felt like that way before, but it's a lot more. It's much stronger feeling these days. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm just trolling along. I'm not even going fast. I'm just kind of seeing if things are going to change here or not. But I got friends of the sea up in Cut Bank, Montana, and a day's worth of food, and I've already eaten most of the good stuff. I'm just down to like cans of chunky soup and I don't know, peanut butter crackers and kind of gross. I got a can of sardines in there too, some bread. I don't know. It's time to get out of here. So if I have to motor, that's fine. It's still a very good experience, and I'm still really enjoying it. So that's all for now. We'll do one more sweeping view of the scenery here. Yep. We're nice. Well, I just got down to this portion of the river down here where it narrows up again. And I hate to say it, but I think it's time to make the executive decision. We've got an incredibly strong headwind and gusts again. So, I mean, unsurprisingly, this is Montana. For whatever reason, though, this current is going the wrong way. And I don't know, I tried for a week unsuccessfully to even sail up into here from the dam, and I've been trying for 2 full days to get down, because I assumed if I couldn't make it against the wind and current going up from the dam, then I would use the wind and current to go down to the dam. And yeah, last year I sailed up against the current and against the wind to get all the way up to this area, and sailed back in a half day with only the head sail. But I don't know what makes the wind and current do the things it does around here, but I've got far more experience now than I did then. But yeah, I just can't beat these conditions. So I don't really feel like motoring 10 miles against wind and current to get down to the dam just to have to hitchhike back up to the truck. So I don't think this is gonna abate. I think this is one of those days where this is gonna keep up and probably even get stronger towards the afternoon. So I don't have any good food, and yeah, I've kind of run out of time, so it is what it is. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm just gonna have to come back and try again next year. There's other places to sail too. There's other lakes I wanted to do this year, and this is about it for what I had set aside for this trip. I got a friend waiting to see me up in Cut Bank, and I don't want to keep him waiting. And the marina is expecting me back today, and I don't mind hitchhiking. It's actually kind of a long hitchhike to get back up to Upper Holter Lake, but yeah, I mean, as you can see, you know, since we started filming, the wind and current is taking us back in the direction we don't want to go. So why motor against that all uncomfortably and hitchhike back when I can just motor with it, get back to the truck, and get everything put away and wrapped up. I think that's the way to go. So I don't know, maybe I'll take another video on the way out of here, but yeah, I'm gonna admit defeat, and I'm gonna use this little motor to get me back to my truck rather than hitchhike. But it's been a great trip. If you add up, geez, probably the 3 weeks total that I've been trying to do this thing, you know, over the course of really 3 attempts, I've done the whole thing, so that's cool. I'm gonna come back next year and try again. This won't be the last. I will not be defeated on this. I don't know. I think part of it's my boat too. This boat is not designed to do this kind of stuff. I'm definitely pushing it to its extreme limits here. So, but it's a great boat. I love you, Easy Wind. I'm not saying anything bad about you. You're a fine sailing yacht, and I love you very much. And we're having a great summer together. So, Lucy, how do you feel? You ready to turn it around? Yeah, we're gonna turn it around. But I don't know. Maybe we didn't make the trip, but there's no shame in admitting defeat and doing what's smart. So just way more extreme conditions this year than I experienced last year. That's all I can say. And it's been that way all season, for that matter. I did more good sailing by this time last year with less sailing experience and a less prepared boat than I have this year. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not gonna fight that all the way home. I'm just gonna motor back to the truck, and I imagine it'll be pretty quick, because we've only gone about maybe a third to a half of the way, probably about a third of the way of where I was trying to get. So Just wasn't in the cards this time. So we're gonna add some gas to the motor and start cruising on back. So I guess this is how most people enjoy the water around here. Getting cough. Personally, I find it kind of obnoxious. I don't think I can really get into that. All right, back at the Sleeping Giant. What do you think, Lucy? You happy to get back to civilization? Poor girl, she wasn't hiking. That's where we camped last night. But yeah, this is the conventional way of enjoying the lake. A bunch of noise and vibration. So I don't know. I'd rather sail and put in 3 days worth of effort just to get this far than listen to this. Not my idea of a relaxing, fun time. So, all right. So, heading downwind back into the canyon. We've still got these huge gusts coming up, but I got a little head sail out. Use what we got, right? So, still relying on the motor, and winds are shifting direction and gusting so hard I don't want to risk putting the main out necessarily, but yeah, the jib, that jib actually does pretty well by itself just heading downwind, so couldn't resist. And it's still a beautiful day out here. Yeah, so we're rolling so good with that head sail, I just decided to turn the motor off. Some careful helming, which I can't do, and use the phone at the same time, but let's see it full. Yeah, that'll be more than enough to carry us home if it keeps up. So if the wind's shifting, I don't have a preventer or a brake or anything, but the head sail just kind of tacks itself. So anyway, I gotta get off the phone because I can't keep it full and film at the same time, but yeah, we're cruising pretty good here. Yeah, it's a little bittersweet to say the least, but we are having an absolutely fantastic downwind sail out of here. We are cruising. The wind has been squarely behind us the entire time, and it's probably the only point of sail where we could handle these kind of gusts and whatnot, but everything's real consistent. So the only problem we have is these guys that have absolutely no respect for us, and yeah, just go zooming on by. They're supposed to slow down to a speed where they could actually stop. I don't think that guy could actually stop. I doubt this guy's going to do anything different, but anyhow, enough about that. On a more positive note, yeah, this is some great downwind sailing, and it's really the only way you can do it like this with the jib. We don't even need the mainsail. We're pretty much, I don't think this boat can really go much faster, and since the wind is behind us, we don't really feel the wind. It just feels like a calm, beautiful day. Yeah, West White Potter's pottering along, and we're just heading straight back down. Probably gonna try and stop at that Holter camp again for a little bit of a lunch break. But we'll see. I don't know. I stopped there last time. I had great conditions when I stopped there and took a break last time, and then ended up getting stuck there for the rest of the day. So maybe, like my old grandpa used to say, make hay while the sun shines kind of thing. So anyway, great downwind sailing through the gates of the mountains. And yeah, the only thing would make this better is if these kind of people here had a little more respect for the other people on the water. Look at this guy. He's just coming right for us. He's got plenty of space all the way around, and he's just barreling right for us like he wants to play chicken. Hold on, let me get back. finally turned away. The guy probably wasn't even paying attention. Probably not even paying attention. Yeah, we see it too. We see it too. Here's your wake. Thanks a lot, dude. Yeah, anyway. Beautiful day out here. And just like that, we are back at Holter Camp. And we have decided to stop here for a nice little lunch break. Man, what a sail coming downwind. I wish I could. Hey, my girl. Hey, my girl. What are you doing? I wish I could videotape that. A lot of this footage I've taken is just, in between, because, yeah, it's like trying to video and control the jib sheets, and the main sheet, and the tiller, and any other number of things that could possibly go wrong. It gets to be a little overwhelming, but anyway, beautiful downwind sailing. I would even go so far as to say the Potter excels at downwind sailing, because we still have those ferocious gusts and high winds that we had before. I'd say it's gusting probably to 30 knots if I had to guess. But it's all right on the stern at our backs, and no need for a mainsail in that. Just the head sail. That's fine. So that way there's no chance of accidental jibe and boom flying over. Or you get a lot of these people coming by with their big stupid wake boats making a mess, and that really screws you up on the sailboat. Let's see what happens when these guys go by. I'll show you. Okay, this is normal. The boat's already getting bashed around. Then that guy's gonna go ripping on by. Anyway, oh look, here we got another one. This guy's gonna go ripping right on by. Yeah, does not give a fuck. Yeah. Sometimes they even do this thing where they slow down and make extra wake when they come in. This guy's coming in. All right, I need to trash this video and restart. Well, that's it. We made it back to Upper Holter Lake. Easy wind is back on the hard. Hey, there's my best friend right there. There's my best friend. I'm sorry, I know I'm not a good cameraman. I'm gonna work on that. But yeah, we got her all rigged up. I don't even know how to turn this thing around, different angles. Easy wind is rigged up. We had a very exciting sail back from Holter Camp. We got a little brave and decided to put up the mainsail, still with 2 reefs. I think, honestly, like the 2 reef rule just absolutely applies in Montana, and even 2 reefs is not enough sometimes. I don't claim to be the most experienced sailor out there. Ow! I'm stepping on something. Anyway, I don't claim to be the most experienced sailor out there, but I have got some experience. I know what I'm doing, and I've learned some lessons the hard way. But yeah, the 2 reef rule, it always applies in Montana, unless you're on a large body of water and, you can see around you for a good distance. You can see what's coming and what's going to change, because it can go from 0 to 35 knot gusts just in a second, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can let off the sheets, you can do this, you can do that. At least in this boat, it's going to blow you off track. And the wind, not only does it come in like that, but it changes directions. I don't know if you can see out over the lake right now, but it was very, very gusty coming in. I don't think being on having the mainsail out was a good idea, but that's how we rolled, and we made it through it. For the most part, it was pretty good. I think going down through that canyon gets a little hairy because it's so narrow, and you've got a lot of traffic going through there, and a lot of people driving through there don't recognize a sailboat, or they just don't recognize, you know, respect for others. So yeah, I'd say the wildest times on this trip have actually been dodging other boats, people coming way too close, way too fast, and not understanding that this boat, it only weighs 500 pounds unloaded, probably maybe 1,000 with all of our gear, probably a little less than that, 800-900 pounds with all of our gear, food, water, and myself and Lucy on it. And that wake is just, it's dangerous. And with the changing wind conditions, you know, you get hit by those gusts, and the boat rounds up, or the boat blows sideways, or the boat spins around and jibes, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. So yeah, if anybody watching this spends time on the water and you know, doesn't have experience around sailboats, just stay well away from them. We've got a huge lake, and we're not in a hurry. I don't understand why we're in a hurry. We don't have to drive so fast through here and risk other people's lives. And the same goes for any boat, for that matter. Just, if you see other people, just slow down. You don't know who you're passing. You know, not only am I on a sailboat, I'm disabled, and I have my best friend on board who I really care about. Neither of us want to get hurt, and we're out trying to have a good time. And you know, just let's all just show each other a little respect. So having said that, yeah, it's beautiful out here. We made it down on the mainsail, 2 reefs and the jib. Probably would have been better off with just the jib. It's way more controlled. You're not going to get any jibes or anything with just the jib out going downwind. But we did have the mainsail out, and it was good. When we got into this lake, it just opened up, and for a moment it was just absolutely beautiful sailing, and I was thinking to myself I was just gonna do some tacks and do some laps around this lake because it was so gorgeous. But I got hit by one of those big gusts, and it darn near blew me over, and so I had to quick cut the halyards and get everything wrapped up and just pull it in and haul out. But big thanks to Gates of the Mountains Marina. You guys have an awesome staff, and I really appreciate you letting me park here overnight and giving me this nice spot to get set up and take my time and understanding, you know, my situation's a little different. And yeah, sailing in Montana, it's a wild experience. It's a lot of work. It's very exciting, and it's very satisfying at the same time. Today was amazing. I've been fighting the wind down at the dam, for the wind and the current down at the dam, for over a week. I was down there, sailed almost every day. I took a day and a half off to go to my cousin's wedding, but yeah, for a week and a half I was fighting that wind and current, trying to get up this stream, which I got up this stream last year, you know, with far less sailing ability. In fact, I was completely incompetent when I came up here last year, and just a 12 volt and a trolling motor, which was dead halfway on the uphill journey. And I made it to that same spot where we got grounded and ran out of provisions and had to sail back. And I sailed that whole thing back in half a day, just like I sailed this all the way back in half a day. But I had a favorable wind, and this time around, yeah, then we came up here, and I've been going at it for 3.5 days. I mean, I've been 4 days total, but half of one of those was setting up, and then the other half I just pretty much anchored out on this lake. Yeah, and then a night at Holter Camp and a night down at the anchorage last night. Just couldn't get ahead of this wind and current, and I'm not complaining about that either. I think it's a great experience, and I think it is a great experience. And I'm really getting to know this boat, and I'm really getting to know my own abilities, and I'm learning new tricks, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's been great. Yeah, I'm it's been great, and I'm grateful that I get to do this, and I don't know, hopefully inspire other people. You know, I am very, very disabled. I don't even have a stump there. Like, that's my collarbone. I don't have a shoulder. I have a brain injury. I'm an alcoholic. I've been through a lot in this life, and I've had many, many reasons to give up. Many that I haven't mentioned there just now, but you know, they're not the worst problems people have had, but been through a lot, and people can get through a lot, and they can get back after it and enjoy life, and that's what I feel like I need to do. Tell other people they can do it too. So I don't want to get all choked up and emotional, but it has been an absolutely wonderful trip, and I'm grateful I got to do it. I'm grateful my best friend is with me, and even though we didn't make it on the A to B route this year, that's fine. We had a great experience. We learned a lot. Getting dialed into my sailing abilities, and yeah, just generally proud of myself and what I can accomplish in spite of my disabilities, and you know, that strength that it takes to keep moving through this world. So I guess that's it. There's not much left to say about that, except for Holter Lake people, you really need to read your rule books they give you when you register your boat, and learn some of the principles of good seamanship. And yeah, sporting goods stores, please start carrying better anchors. That Navy anchor is a piece of garbage, and you know, just I don't see why it's so hard. I don't see why it's so hard. Anything else before I go? Not really. I just want y'all to know I'm grateful you tuned in, and I love y'all, and I need to get to town and get some real food in my belly, because that canned stuff is hard on the gut. All right. Well, off to Kukanusa next via East Glacier. I may make a stop in there. It'd be awesome to ski one of those east side lakes on the Rocky Mountain front. There's so much red tape out there with the Park Service and the tribe and all that stuff. I just don't know if I'm ever going to get to do that. But I really enjoyed making this. I promise I'm going to try and keep making them. I'm going to try and get a better camera, because this phone situation, yeah, I have my hand full. And I didn't actually get to take a lot of footage of the really good action. And it also drained a lot of battery. It was really hard to keep up on the battery. But getting more and more dialed in, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure. Thanks for tuning in.